الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Before we begin, if I could ask my dear brothers and sisters to just move forward. Today is a day off, so we have our lovely youth joining us today. And remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا قِيلَ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمْ تَفَسَّحُوا فِي الْمَجَالِسِ فَافْسَحُوا. That making room for your brothers and sisters is actually part of Iman. There is reward behind it, so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it from us. إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد. Today I want to share with you something that's been trending between the Muslims since earlier this month. An individual by the name of Abdul Mu'min Jitmood or Sambut Jitmood. A video surfaced on YouTube and other social media where his son was murdered, and during the trial he said some pretty beautiful words, and in summary he forgave the murderer of his son. So I wrote down his words And subhanAllah, my teacher taught me that sometimes an ordinary person will say the words scholars don't say. And that's a tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And us as Muslims, al-hikmah, dalatul mu'min. Wisdom is something that a Muslim searches for. He seeks out. No matter from who or from what time. So I want to share with you these words and reflect upon them. And I'm going to read it slowly so that everyone is able to reflect while listening. He says, my son, now he's talking to the convict. My son, my nephew, I forgive you on behalf of Salahuddin and his mother. My dear nephew Trey, I don't blame you for the crime you have committed. I'm not angry at you for being part of hurting my son. I'm angry at the devil. I blame the devil who misguided you and misled you to do such a horrible crime. I really feel sorry for your parents. They raised you and want you to be successful. Your success is their success. Your happiness is their happiness. Now they have to cry because of the crime that you have committed. Forgiveness is the greatest gift or charity in Islam. I have to pour myself out to forgive someone that has wronged our family. God said in the Holy Quran, Wallahu ghafurun rahim. God is the most merciful, the most forgiving. Now I say to my nephew, God is going to forgive you because He promised in this world He is the most forgiving, the most merciful, provided I forgive you. So I did forgive you. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God can forgive you. So I reach out to him. He's referring to the convict. I want him to reach out to God. You have a new chapter of good life coming. When you come out of your confinement, do righteous deeds. Because your righteous deeds are going to lead you to a path of truth. Lead back to God Almighty. That is my message to my nephew. And there are a few points I want to point out. And I hope this has an effect on your hearts as it had on mine. Number one, the fruits of Islam come out when you understand Islam. And when I reflected on the words of this beautiful man, it comes from a very strong understanding of Islam. The words he says are from the Quran. He derived it from his understanding, a correct understanding of the Quran. The problem of Muslims, and we have many, is not the genocide that's going on in Myanmar. It's not the political instability of the Middle East. It's not the oppressive regimes, East and West. It's not the Islamophobia here in the West. It's not those things. Our biggest calamity is our lack of understanding what Islam is. Ask yourself the question, what is Islam? What does Islam mean to me? What is it? Most of us will give a very generic answer. Islam is about worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praying 5 times a day. That's right, but we need to be a step higher than that. Islam is monotheism. What is monotheism? It's La ilaha illallah. It's the belief that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah. We worship Allah, that's why we were created. Worship is what? A lot of us know that we were created to be worshipped. What is worship? Worship is a relationship between you and the one you worship. And with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that relationship is built off love, hope, and fear. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of what He provides us. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is perfect. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because when we need Him, and we always need Him, He is there for us. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is the all-forgiving. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because when we need help, we raise our hands, He answers us. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because when we are lonely, He is there for us. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because when we are weak, He gives us strength. When we are in need of help, He sends those to help us. And the list is infinite. But if we don't know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, if we don't understand what Islam is, if we don't reflect upon the Quran, if we don't try and take the Quran and understand it through what we see around us, we're not going to have these fruits like our dear uncle had. Understand what Islam is. That makes you who you are. If you don't understand what Islam is, if you pray 5 times a day, it's going to become a burden. If you don't know why you are praying, it's going to become a burden. If you don't remember that you have an appointment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you don't remember that there's a day you will stand in front of Him, you're going to ask the question, why on earth am I praying? What's the point? If you only see this life, why fast? Increase, deepen your understanding of Islam, and know that that is your capital. That makes you who you are. And I talk to the parents, and I'm talking to the youth. If parents, you don't teach your children why we follow Islam, the why question, and my youth, my dear friends, if you don't understand why you are doing this, why Islam says that, it becomes a burden. You ask yourself why? Why not? Right? Understand, invest in your religion, invest in your iman. The more you invest, the more that comes out of it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala draws a parable, which most of you know. The iman is a tree. Iman is a tree. And the stronger that tree is, the more benefit it has. But a tree needs water. It needs sunshine. Not only that, you need to clean the tree. Because if weeds take over and becomes a lot, it can potentially kill the tree. You need to remove those weeds, those misconceptions of Islam, those misunderstandings of Islam. You need to water your iman by doing acts of worship and learning about Islam. And then you become a tree so tall, so wide, everyone benefits from it. Anyone who's walking by, they benefit from its shade. If it's winter, you hear the beautiful noise of wind passing through the leaves. Its sight is green, it's beautiful. And it gives its fruits all seasons. It's not exclusive to 1 or 2 seasons. Anyone can simply grab a fruit and benefit from it. And I see that in this individual. That criminal benefited from the tree of his iman and his proper understanding of Islam. Number 2, to remember that you have an enemy. There is an enemy out there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to him as a shaitan, and he is the shaitan. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًّا إِنَّمَا يَدْعُو حِزْبَهُ لِيَكُونُوا مِنْ أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. The devil is your enemy, so take him as an enemy. He is calling his followers to be part of hellfire. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying it. Right? We don't want to paint this black and white picture. It's not like that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, there's an enemy out there whose sole goal is to misguide you and send you to the hellfire. Be careful of him. And every country recognizes that there are potential enemies out there, therefore we need a military. It's not about just causing chaos and spilling blood. It's about protecting oneself. Remember that you have an enemy. And it's not only the shaitan. There are humans out there whose sole purpose is to misguide you. There are organizations out there who their sole role is to find Muslims who say controversial things. Regardless of the language, they will translate it, right? And then show it to the world. Spread it through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. There are organizations like that. They want you to be misguided. Sometimes it's completely out of spite. God didn't guide me, oh, I'm going to misguide everyone else. There are people like that. And you need to defend yourself. You need to protect yourself, and that's through knowledge. So this point feeds into the point before. Understand your religion, and understand that there is an enemy out there who wants to misguide you. He wants harm for you. Number 3, remember your parents. And I'm talking to all ages here. For the youth, those who are pre-college, your parents worry about you day and night. Day and night. When you go to school, what's on their mind is my friend, is my son, is my daughter hanging out with people who are going to harm him or her? That's what they're thinking about. Did they eat okay? Is the lunch that I gave them enough for them? Are they going to come home safely? This is what they are thinking about. You need to recognize that. And for those who are in college, and they're out of the house more, that makes your parents sad. Not because they're mad at you, but they don't like seeing their children away from them. They are sad. And as this brother says, you made your parents sad. That's bad. So before you make a decision, think about the consequences of that decision. Is this going to harm my family? It's not about you. This world is not just you. The decisions you make can potentially affect others. First and foremost, your parents, your siblings. When you are about to do something, when you're about to hang out with this new crowd, when you're about to go to that party or do something dumb, remember that it can potentially or it will harm your parents if they find out. And for those who are older and married and they have kids, and this, subhanAllah, this breaks my heart every time I remember it. I have an uncle I love dearly. He told me once that sometimes at night, many times at night, he sits and thinks about his children. My son is over here, and my son is in this country, my son is in that country. And he said, I just start crying. He's not mad that they're gone. He's just sad that he doesn't see them as often. Make sure your connection with your parents is strong. Even if it's calling them once a week. Visit them. They'll go to college, right, and come back once a year for summer break. Don't do that. If you're closer, if you are within an hour, 2 hours, come back every weekend. Let your parents see you. They love it. You owe them that. One day you will be a parent and you're going to wish for that. And for the older fellows, right, the older brothers and sisters whose parents have passed, your role towards your parents isn't done. And in the hadith, right, the deceased, they receive news of what's going on in this life. They know every now and then they hear what's going on in your lives. And the thing that makes them happiest the most is to hear that their child has repented. They're praying now. They're fasting. They're doing good deeds. That makes them the happiest. SubhanAllah. And remember that sadaqah jariyah, continuous charity. One of the continuous charities for a person is their pious child who makes dua for them. Don't forget your parents. Just because they are deceased, your relationship with them has not finished. Do good deeds for them. Right? When you give charity, every now and then say, I'm going to give this charity and gift it to my parents. And that's allowed. Any good deed you give as a gift to a deceased individual, inshallah, it's accepted. So if you do a umrah, or you do an extra hajj, and you give it to one of your parents, that's accepted, inshallah. If you read Quran, if you give charity, inshallah, that's accepted if you do on behalf of a deceased individual. So remember your parents and recognize that what affects you affects them. Number 4, be a source of hope. This uncle, this blessed man, was a source of hope for this individual. Okay, put yourself in the criminal's shoes. You have just committed the biggest crime. You're about to be sentenced to probably life in prison, or maybe even execution, or capital punishment. This is your status. The doors have been closed in front of him. But this uncle gave him hope. He told them, you still have a chance. There is in Islam no one who's a completely lost cause. No one. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew a lot of the elites of Mecca, a lot of these Islamophobes of Mecca, he knew that they're not going to repent. But that did not give the Prophet ﷺ a green light not to give them da'wah. There is always hope in Islam. Give that hope to other people and keep it in your own heart. It's sad and actually quite pathetic when I hear from people, they tell me, Sheikh, I have people in my family telling me I'm going to go to hellfire because of this and that. Oh, you have makeup on? You're going to hellfire. They're praying their 5 prayers, they're fasting Ramadan, they're giving charity, right? They're staying away from major sins, but because of something extremely minor, makeup, you're going to hellfire. Muslims, for some reason, I don't know why, they like closing the doors of hope on others, between each other, Muslims, right? Why? I don't know. We should be sources of hope. We should open the doors of hope, not close them. And this is the style of Quran. قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Say, O my servants, my worshippers, those who have gone to the extremes in harming their own selves, the extremes of committing sin. He's talking to them. Don't despair from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all sin. There is always hope in Islam. So you, my brother, my sister, who are not praying 5 times a day, who might be engaging in major sin, there is always hope for you. There's always hope. Never, never ever let the shaitan tell you you are a lost cause. Never let them tell you, oh, you just don't care anymore, just stop. This is the tricks of the shaitan. Don't let the shaitan make you sad. This is one of his tricks. Sometimes he will show a dream to a person that makes them sad. They'll show, for example, their spouse doing something bad or their child doing something bad. It's just the shaitan, he wants to make you sad, because when you are sad, it drains you. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives hope. Don't take hope away. So don't take hope away from each other. Don't take hope away from your own self. My parents, when you talk to your youth, talk to them with love. And if they ask you a question about Islam, that is an opportunity for you. And this is the 5th point. Don't just say good words or inspirational words. Show them how to reach it. So our uncle didn't just say, may Allah forgive you. He told them how to attain forgiveness. That's by doing good deeds. When your child comes to you and asks you about Islam, don't have this reaction, oh, haram, you just can't. Tell them, hey, let's sit down. That's an opportunity. That's a golden opportunity for you. When Yusuf alayhi salam was in prison, he's in prison. Who wants to be in prison? And 2 individuals came and asked him about their dreams. He didn't just say, oh, the interpretation is this and that. He said, I'll tell you the interpretation, just listen to me for a second. And he started calling them to Islam, calling them to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. You have opportunities, they always come to you, use them. And show people how to reach good, not just about good. He told me you need to do good deeds in order to find piety. So my brothers and sisters, especially the youth, Islam doesn't just grow. As I said before, it doesn't just grow. You need to grow it. And you grow it by doing good deeds. The best of our time is knowledge. Seek knowledge. Seek knowledge. Seek knowledge. Know your religion. Don't be those who, as soon as one misconception is thrown out there, they start shaking. Oh my God, is this Islam? Am I following this religion? Don't be of that type. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. When I analyze the words of this individual and I try to summarize it to one point, the point that I came with is that this individual recognizes that he is. Is he okay? Do we have a doctor? Okay. If I were to summarize the beautiful words of this beautiful believer, I would say that this individual recognized that his purpose is larger than his own self. In the West, we are the culture of me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. There's no one else. We could care less about anyone else. This is the culture that we live in today. I'm not saying everyone is like that, but this is the culture that we live in. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about one individual. It's about us all. When we do something, it has ramifications on other things. When you are a good believer, it affects that which is around you. When you are a bad person, it affects that which is around you. This individual recognized that even though most of us, rightfully so, would have wanted to see that individual put down for doing such a crime. But he recognized that this life is greater than me. My role, my purpose is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to call people to Allah. And he saw that as greater than his own self. recognize that Islam is greater than any one of us. Humanity is greater than any one of us. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this individual and his family. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fill the void of their hearts with love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Iman. A few announcements. If you can help us out with charity today, with sadaqah, donate to the masjid. It really helps us out, keeps us going. The masjid is really our hub. It is a place where we teach and we learn and we get together. And even if it's just us meeting each other and seeing each other's faces once a week, then that is a great blessing that we should be thankful for. So help us out this week and in all weeks. Jazakumullah khair. OCIF annual blood drive is on Sunday, January 7th. Please sign up online or sign up online at redcross.org. Use the code OCIF. There is no Quran class today, nor is there a MyOC youth meeting tonight. Tonight the programs, because of the vacation, a lot of people are traveling. The programs have been canceled. Inshallah, we will resume next week. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. We ask Allah subhanahu to bless each and every one of us here. We ask Allah subhanahu to grant us guidance and knowledge. Welcome to Salah.